So here we are with a quick unboxing of Martin Wallace's Wildlands, the first expansion. I have the base game, as you see, which I've done an unboxing for. I think that might be on Board Deck and Dice, my private channel. But I've got the first expansion in, the Unquiet Dead. This adds a fifth faction to the game, so you can now have a bit more choice if you're playing with 4 players. One player can play as this instead of a base faction, and it also adds a way for these undead characters to be played in the game without a player controlling them. And basically the way that works is when one of your characters dies, you replace it with one of these, and then anyone can control that by using symbols of their dead characters, I believe. I might be wrong on that, but that's how I understand it works. So let's have a look. I really like the base game. It's kind of, my friend described it as a Euro skirmish, and I quite like that description because it kind of fits. In the game there's no dice, you're playing with cards, and it's all about hand management. My only slight concern is that this is not going to fit into the main box because of the inserts. So here we have a couple of rules page. So yeah, here we go. Whenever a player's character is knocked out, place one of the set aside undead miniatures on that space and place the matching undead character card near the board. It doesn't matter which character is used. Any player may move or move or flag actions with any undead character on the board as if they controlled that character. To do so, they must play an action card where the relevant action is associated with the character that's been knocked out. So you can potentially pick up a crystal with an undead character, and then on the next turn an opponent uses it to attack one of your characters. So let's have a look at these guys. All the base factions only have where's the camera there? Only have 5 miniatures as well, and these guys come with 6, so there is an extra. So I guess you always have to be green if you want to be the undead. An extra guy there. That's interesting. Oh, this guy looks like he's had a rough night out on the town. Try and get that in focus. So those are the minis. What's also interesting with this faction, if we can get the cards open here, I will show you, is that there is not a symbol. There's only a few symbols in the faction. I think they take 4 cards to pick up a crystal because of this. So you see they share symbols, the characters. All have 3 of those ones, and all have 3 of those ones. But there's only 2 symbols, so normally in a faction all these symbols would be different, and in their cards you would have all 5 icons down here, but in these cards you only get 2, so you can use this symbol on 3 of the characters rather than just 1. So that's quite a different way to play as well. They seem to have magic, melee, ranged attacks. They can that's rally, so they can move 2 at once as well if they're in the same square. Oh, I'm liking the look of these guys. I mean, they're relatively... Oh, that's okay. Okay, so their wild cards do something different as well. So you can't draw more cards. I don't know if you can use it as a wild when you're picking up cards, so I'll have to check that. So this one lets you move and defend. That one lets you melee attack. Melee attack. Oh, there's a draw 2 one. Oh, so they're very different, these. I think that's the wild symbol. I'd need to check on that. So quite different. And for their mix of stuff, we have a little bit of melee, a lot of ranged, and some rallying, and quite a lot of open defense, which is good. So this should be quite a different faction than what's in the base game. The base game factions did feel fairly different, but this seems to add even more variation. And as I say, the biggest problem for me is that this is not going to fit in here at all. So the next factions are due March, I think, 2019, and they include another faction that can act in its own way. You don't have to control them in the game, they can just come into the game. Maybe I could put some in there, we'll see. And also another double-sided map is coming as well. So that is the Wild Undead. Wild Undead. I can't get this name right. Where is it? The Undead Quiet, or the Unquiet Dead faction for Wildlands. A great game, one that I do recommend you check out, especially if you're a fan of kind of quite thoughtful skirmish games with some other ways to win. Thanks very much for watching Zatu Games live unboxing. We'll see you next time.